Okay, it's time for a little rant about feelings and how the ridiculous state of men in America and probably Western culture at large have a real handicap when it comes to emotional intelligence, emotional fluidity, just being able to feel their feelings. And just to give you an idea of what I've been doing, just as like somebody who has been trying to get back their just natural flow of energy and passion. I've been trying to figure out how to loosen myself up and feel feelings. And I've been doing things like combining music and marijuana and movement in such a way that really gives me the right brain state and the right context to allow feelings to come out. And even when I do it really well, even when I set the stage and I do the prep work and I set the intentions and I do it, it's still messy and it's still kind of unpredictable. Now it's a lot better than it was when I was first trying these emotional exploration sessions. I don't know what to call them, but these little feeling sessions. I would give myself like 2 hours and get, total privacy, totally alone in my house. And I would set the stage by like cleaning the room that I was going to be in and putting some props around that I could use for emotional and physical expression. So I'd have like pads that I could hit, like a dowel or a rod or stick or something that I could hit pillows with. And just to kind of be able to have a variety of things that I could experiment with in the moment to see what got the juices flowing. Because it wasn't easy. I'm like trying to figure out how to get feelings out. And after basically a lifetime of not being in good connection with my feelings, it wasn't easy. And I think about the story that Joe Hudson, a coach, was saying about his journey to get back his ability to cry, because when he was a kid, his family made fun of him when he cried. In fact, he was, as a young adult, he was looking through a photo album and he saw a photo of him as a kid crying. He was like at the dinner table or something and he's crying. And there's a picture of it in the photo album. And he realized, and then, I think through subsequent conversations with his parents, found out that they would take pictures of him while he cried and then make fun of him. And it's just like, oh my God, what a disaster of emotional development. Anyway, he had to work ridiculously hard to be able to get back his ability to cry. And it involved him hiking out into the wilderness, really, really remote areas where he knew for a fact there was not a single human that could possibly witness him crying. And it was the only way that he could feel that safety and security to let this scary thing out that he thought, just through his learned experience, was some awful thing that he had to hide away forever and ever. So he did that for weeks, like maybe months. No, it was months. It was months of him taking these regular hikes out. And he said he would go out and he would pretend to cry. He couldn't cry yet. He would just go out and kind of, and he would do the fake it till you make it thing. And it was weeks until he was able to legitimately cry. And then it was just, okay, going out and out and out again and again to keep crying, to work on this backlog of feelings that he had. Now, I had kind of a similar journey with being able to feel my feelings and also being able to dance. It was kind of a similar thing. I was also working on dancing. Like, how do I get myself to loosen up enough to move? Like, why am I so self-conscious? And so I would do a thing where I'd have to like close all the blinds, turn off all the lights, crank up the music, smoke a joint, and put on my headphones, have like, it's just whatever I needed. I gave myself in order to feel comfortable enough to start to loosen up. And then it was similar with just any sort of emotional, any feeling. So I was doing these sessions where I was exploring feelings with the help of things like music and marijuana and movement. Movement meaning like I would try dancing, I would try Tai Chi. This is all in the same session. I would just kind of move from one thing to another to just see like, hey, what would happen if I Okay, instead of trying to cry this feeling, what if I tried to like dance it? What would it look like if I tried, grieving for my dad with movement? What if I tried to communicate how I felt with movement? And holy shit, I mean, it sounds weird to somebody who hasn't tried it, but it's a ridiculous way to, ridiculously good. It's an effective way of expressing a feeling and feeling a feeling, letting it flow through you. Because I didn't realize that's what feelings were supposed to do. Feelings are supposed to flow through you. You're like a conduit for them, and they just ripple through you like you are the ocean and the feeling is the wave, and it just passes through you. But instead, I was trying to intellectualize them. I was trying to fight them. I was, unconsciously suppressing them, all sorts of shit. And it gunked up my whole system. The more emotions that I had unexpressed in my body, the more blocked I was in my just life energy. I didn't have passion. I didn't have focus. I didn't have fun. And this is what I'm starting to get back. And so I'm really excited about things like these emotional exploration sessions. I was doing it organically. I kind of stumbled into it, and I kept developing my own personal process to see, hey, what works for me. And I would have these incredible and very intense sessions that would leave me utterly exhausted and completely just like, oh my God, I cannot believe what happened. Just mind-blowing experiences, all just alone in my house with a little bit of marijuana. It didn't take much, and some music and movement and the total privacy thing. And that was just a killer recipe for finding out how to feel my feelings. And I'm starting it. I still feel like after a couple of years at this, that I'm just starting out. And if you've watched the last couple of my videos, you'll know that I enrolled in this cannabis coaching course. And so I'm learning on a more formal level how to use cannabis to assist in these things, and to then actually be able to assist other people in their journey in doing it, because there are so many guys that need help with this, that they aren't able to access this deep, hot fire that they know they should have. At least that's how I felt. It's like, I know it's supposed to be in there. Why don't I have it? And so as I get it back, I'm just getting more and more excited about having a way of sharing that. And I'm excited to develop my own practice that I can share with people. And I don't have that right now. I wish I did, but I'm working on it. And cool, stick around, and we'll talk more about feelings and how cool they are. They're also messy sometimes. All right, thanks. I'll see you later.